to his social media posts, his movements, his conversations leading up to the shooting, as well as any other indicators that may be out there.
2 days after the deadly shooting at Parkland High School, many people are asking, were potential warning signs missed? Attorney Whitney Boan joining us now in studio. Whitney, good morning. Good to see you as always.
Good morning, Andrea. How are you?
This has been a tough week for our folks in Florida as we watch this story unfold, and now new revelations that the FBI had received warnings, had received tips about the dangers of this guy, and yet the FBI admits they didn't follow up on this.
Yes, it's horrible. And there was also, calls to the sheriff's office about him in terms of there was the Snapchat where he was cutting himself. DCF got involved. There was an investigation where they spoke to his now deceased adoptive mother. It's horrifying to think that, there were all these signs that existed and somehow this wasn't prevented. Not that necessarily it always could be prevented or that makes it anybody's per se fault that this happened. It's just a tragedy all around.
Right. You've got this kid that was expelled from school. Reports made 39 visits by one police officer's account to the home, which you had mentioned. And you've got several students saying, yes, there were red flags. Even the FBI notified. And we hear officials say, if you see something, say something. Something was seen, something was said, yet it went ignored. Is there any sort of legal action someone can take in this kind of situation?
Well, I know that the local and the federal law enforcement, the FBI and the local sheriff's office down there are looking into whether or not there was any specific wrongdoing by anybody with their relative departments with regard to should they have done something more and they didn't. Whether or not that will result in people being fired or if that results in potential lawsuits is a separate issue and remains to be seen. We're kind of early in it, even though the FBI has accepted fault for not transferring it to where it needed to go and responding to it. The truth is, though, legally, even though people make these calls, which they should, you should make the call if you think something's wrong, because like in this situation, maybe these people thought something was wrong and something was very, very wrong. Yeah. So you shouldn't hesitate to make the calls. But just because you make the call doesn't mean legally that law enforcement has the right to go and lock him up and put him away and he can't get out. I mean, even if he had committed some offense, such as, with the Lana Del Rey incident recently here in Orlando, that individual got arrested for stalking with a credible threat based on posts he made online. And luckily he was intervened before going into the concert. But that's not a crime where he's not eligible for a bond. We're not talking about somebody who's going to be put away and can't ever get out. And so even in these situations, even if police could do something, it's not necessarily fair to expect that they can take someone off the streets forever, and sometimes it doesn't rise to the level where they can arrest someone.
And unfortunately, it's only the reactionary actions that they can take following some sort of event. We've seen that happen time and time again with stories about restraining orders and women being stalked, and again, this situation. So great insight as always, Whitney. Great to see you. Where can people find you?
On my website, www.boanlaw.com, BOANLAW.com.
All right, Whitney, as always, we really appreciate the insight. All right, stay with us.